Hi, my name is Alex, and what I have sitting behind me today on the bench is the center seat out of a 2013 Plus Ram with the split bench seat. Now, they have updated this console in some of the Ram trucks for 2025, but this is the version that has the 3 cup holders. And what you're looking at here is a Salt Dog controller that has been installed on the center cup holder of this console. And I want to go through the entire install process of using this SKYMO radio mount to install this controller on this center console. So if you need a solution like this for the controller in your plow truck, you will hopefully walk away from this video understanding exactly how to do this. So I'm going to take this apart. We'll lay all the parts down on the table so you can see exactly what comes with the radio mount kit. Now, I'm referring to it as a radio mount because that's really what it's designed to hold, but it works great for the controllers like this because they mount the same exact way actually as a lot of mobile radios. So we're going to take a look at the components that come with the radio mount kit, and then we'll walk through step by step how the installation works. Here we are zoomed in on the radio mount kit. So these are all the components that come with it. This is what we call the mount base. This is the mounting plate, and this is various hardware that you're going to need to secure all this together, and that comes with an Allen key that is going to work on these button head cap screws. On the controller side of things, you are going to need the bracket that comes with the controller. This is not included as part of the kit. This is the hardware that comes with the controller. And then you're also going to need a 3/8" wrench or socket and ratchet, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, now that you've seen all the components that come as part of the kit, let's put them all together and we can see exactly how this thing works. Now, the first step is going to be to secure your mounting plate to your mount base. And you might be going, hey Alex, why does your mount base have so many holes in it when your mounting plate only has 2? Well, the answer is very simple. We have some height adjustability. So depending on what you're installing on this thing and your personal preferences, you might want to move your mounting plate up or down. So what you're gonna want is the 1/4" hardware. This is 2 1/4" button head cap screws, 2 1/4" washers, and 2 square nuts. And the square nuts are going to fit into the backside of the mount base in these square holes. Now, for this Salt Dog controller, since it's actually a pretty short box, I have found these topmost holes are best for it, but your preferences may differ from that. You can put it in any of the 4 sets of holes that you'd like. Now, these bottom 2 to 3 sets of holes are pretty easy to access. You can just drop your square nuts in just like so. If you do want to use the topmost holes, one trick that I want to share with you is you can thread on the square nut onto one of the button head cap screws, just a few turns, and that's going to give you a little handle that'll make it easier to drop that square nut right into place, and then you can just unthread it. That way you're not sitting there fiddling with it trying to get it in there squarely, because it can be a little challenging for the ones that are further up inside this part. And then I'm just going to do the same thing for this second side. Unthread it, and now our square nuts are in place. And I just like to put my fingers on them like that and hold them there. That way they're not sliding out the back. And now the next step is to get your mounting plate all secured in place. So put your 1/4" washers over the top of the holes and then run the button head cap screws through. And then I want to show you the orientation of the mounting plate in relation to the mount base real quick. So this is what the 2 components look like now that they are secured together. And what I was referring to with that orientation is you want to make sure the wings of the mounting plate are set up off the face of the mount base. The purpose of this is just to give you some clearance for these bolt heads, because we're going to be mounting the controller bracket over the top of those. The next step is just to take your controller bracket and we're going to secure it to the mounting plate like so. The hardware to do this is also included, and this is where you're going to use your 3/8" wrench and your Phillips head screwdriver. That is what this hardware requires. And there we are. So this is what it looks like to this point. We have our mount base, our mounting plate, and then the bracket that came with the controller secured to the mounting plate. And you may have guessed it, but the next step is just to attach the controller to its mounting bracket. And we're done putting together this whole assembly. So again, we have our mount base. That's the part that is custom fit to the Ram cup holder. We have our mounting plate. Those are the 2 components that come with the radio mount kit. And we have the bracket that came with the controller and the controller itself. So now we are ready to install this thing on the Ram cup holder. Now this one fits the center cup holder only, and all you're gonna do, in fact, let me zoom in here. Okay, hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So all you're gonna do is set it on this lip between the cup holder and the front of the console, and you press down. And you're done. No drilling or hardware is required to get this radio mount to stay in place. It is just fit perfectly to the cup holder. And it grabs it tight enough that you can easily get it on there, but it's not so loose that it's gonna rattle free or anything. Now, just to demonstrate the fit of this radio mount on this cup holder, what I wanna do is just flip this up, and you can see that it stays in place. So I don't really recommend driving it around like this, but just for the purposes of demonstrating how secure that fit is on there, you can flip that up and it doesn't come flying off. Now, when it comes time to remove this assembly from your truck, all you have to do is put some upward pressure on it and maybe give it a little bit of a wiggle, and it comes right up and off. Now, if you want to check this thing out, it's available on SKYMO.com, part number 20109A. That's this radio mount kit that, again, works great for controllers like this. So I hope that whole process made sense. It is a pretty straightforward installation process, but if you do have any questions about it, feel free to drop a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.